Today I'm going to be talking about counting your blessing. And this is a wisdom for life. The blessings that you do not count is not accounted for you. And why do I say it's not accounted for you? Because when you do not count that blessing, the impact of that blessing, the joy of that blessing, what that blessing represents, you cannot benefit of its essence when you are not counting it. And to count a blessing means to acknowledge it, to place value on it, and to sit within that blessing and experience the joy of that blessing. Now, in talking about counting our blessing, I'm going to go into counting our life as a blessing. And I say this because sometimes we may be going through things, all kinds of things, because that life be lifing, right? It could be you're in a toxic relationship, for example, or you're, having to deal with difficult family members, or a boss at work, or it could just be something crazy. Let's say an addiction, for example. And you could sit within yourself and say, how is this existence a blessing for me? But I want to remind you that the life that we have is the hope of our tomorrow. When we have life, as we have life, we have hope for tomorrow. And we have hope that perhaps if we make a change, maybe in our thinking, in our action, in something, if we take a step today, it could change the entire trajectory of our lives. We have that hope. So, the life that we have is the currency of hope. You see what I did there? The life that we have is the currency of hope. So, we must always count our life for a blessing. Okay? And I tell you, the things that are the blessing are usually the things that you cannot buy with money. For example, the life that you have. Now I move this conversation further, and I tell you, when we stop looking at our blessing, when we take our eyes off our blessing and begin to look at our neighbor's blessing, our own blessings begin to diminish. The value of your blessing, of your own blessing, begin to diminish unless you take your eyes off your blessing and begin to look at your neighbor's blessing or your friend's blessing. Because you could be looking at your friend and be like, oh my goodness, she's living a charmed life. She has this big job. She has this, whatever you think you don't have. And I'm telling you, the moment you take your eyes off your blessing, the importance of that which you have, the importance of that which you have, you may not have even paid for it. For example, maybe it's just the love you have in your life, the children that bring joy to you. Okay, it could even be your health. Okay, you're in good health, right? Your eyes. I always count my eyes. My eyes, they see. I count it for blessing. And for you, it could be anything. That, especially that which you cannot buy. Count for a blessing. So, in summary, I said this. Count your blessing. The blessing that you do not count is not accounted for you, because you will not feel the joy of that blessing. And I said, in counting your blessing, count your life for a blessing. Life may be difficult today, but it is the hope of our future. The life we have is the currency of hope. Lastly, I said, immediately you take your eyes off your blessing, your own blessing, the value of your blessing begin to diminish. So friends, today, count your blessings.